We've come a far way as an independent nation with a rich cultural heritage. And even as we close off this year's Heritage Month festivities, it doesn't mean that the celebrations should stop today. Hi, I'm Theodore Henry, and welcome to today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. In this show, it's all about the palatable side of our culture. That's all on the other side of this break.
Did you know that the EU has been doing a lot of work in Jamaica? The EU provided some 23 billion Jamaican dollars to help people living in sugar-dependent areas. This means new houses for sugar estate workers, rehabilitated roads, improved schools, health centers, vocational training, business grants, and a wide range of action to improve the lives of people in sugar-dependent areas.
Life sweeter for you with the EU.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, October 31. An incentive scheme has been established to aggressively tackle murders and violence against vulnerable groups such as women, children, and the elderly. The scheme will be operated through Crime Stop, and persons are encouraged to call 311 and share what they know so that perpetrators can be apprehended.
The Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Branch, the Criminal Investigative Branch, with the support of major organized crime and anti-corruption agencies, will bring increased focus to investigating these incidents, to identify and apprehend individuals associated with these acts. These branches will work with the Center for Investigation of Sexual Offences and Child Abuse, that will be strengthened to adequately investigate crimes against these particularly vulnerable groups.
National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang was speaking during Tuesday's sitting of Parliament. The minister's announcement came on the heels of the murders of Yetania Francis and Raven Wilson, both 14 years old. He said those killings and others had not gone unnoticed by the state, and as such, plans were in train to further boost police intelligence. In other news, the second phase of the Tablet in Schools program is on in earnest. On Tuesday, 2 contracts worth $30 million were signed with Geotech Vision Limited and Innovative Corporate Solutions Limited to supply and deliver tablets as well as service the devices. The companies will provide their services over an 11-year period through a partnership with eLearning Jamaica and the Universal Service Fund. At the signing, Education Minister Senator Ruel Reid said the technology would advance the education system by increasing access to online resources.
We now need to use technology in the teaching and learning process, because we cannot advance and take our place among the leading nations of the world if we do not continue to increase access to technology.
Patients and patient care providers at the National Chest Hospital now have easier access to the facility with the commissioning of 2 new elevators.
You can't have a situation where you have a hospital and patients or doctors or nurses can't move from one floor to the next efficiently. I mean, you compromise lives in the process, and that's not what we're about. We're about saving lives.
The elevators, which were commissioned into service on Tuesday, were bought with $19.3 million in financing from the National Health Fund.
In these environments, a few seconds can make a difference. And so we are happy that we now have a more reliable elevator system.
The National Chest Hospital is the latest to benefit from a $76 million program geared at improving elevators at 5 hospitals. Already, elevators have been installed at the Kingston Public and Princess Margaret hospitals, and work is underway at the Victoria Jubilee and Spanish Town hospitals. In a bid to increase earnings from mining, the responsible ministry has launched a 3-month quarry and mining training program at the Excelsior Community College. At Tuesday's launch, Minister Robert Montego said the course would cover a range of topics and would be introduced to other community colleges over time.
It is to maximize the potential within the context of a more prosperous and sustainable environmental development for Jamaica. Our human capital is our most important asset. And highly skilled, trained person, they are scarce in Jamaica, and this school will be filling a need.
The minister is also calling on persons who are involved in illegal mining activities to stop this practice, pointing out that the fine is now over 1 million Jamaican dollars. And finally, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has charged the 5 finalists in the Houses of Parliament design competition to ensure their concepts are not only iconic but practical. Mr. Holness asserts that the official design for the new Houses of Parliament must evoke a sense of authority while symbolizing the dreams and aspirations of the Jamaican people.
It has to have a certain sense of reverence, that we are going to respect it, and that it is also respectful of the people, and therefore access and transparency is critical. But we must recognize where we live. We live in an area where we are becoming increasingly vulnerable. So we have to build for vulnerabilities and for resilience.
On Tuesday, the 5 gave a brief snippet of their concepts and received feedback from the Prime Minister and a parliamentary committee. The responses will help the finalists fine-tune their designs before submitting them on December 18. Jamaicans will be allowed to vote on the designs in January 2019, and in February, a winner will walk away with $5 million. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Let's get a little breeze on this land. All right. Now let's get some bounce in the rhythm. All right. Let's get some fire on our hearts. Now that is what we call all right. Run, come, get some Jamaica.
Peanut butter makes delicious sandwiches, and it can be even better when had alone. Watch as one of our very own uses local peanuts from St. Elizabeth and honey to manufacture peanut butter.
Jamaica has its own peanut spread, farmed and manufactured in the central hills of the island. You may have it creamy or chunky with your bread and biscuits, or even straight from the jar by itself.
We are the Jamaican Peanut Butter Factory. We use 100% Jamaican peanuts as well as Jamaican honey. Right? One of our mottos is very simple ingredients but fantastic peanut butter. And we use only 4 ingredients as opposed to a lot of the import peanut butter. Uses numerous chemicals and preservatives that we should not be consuming. We use 100% Jamaican peanuts as well as 100% Jamaican honey to sweeten it, and then organic coconut oil and sea salt. As far as our peanuts go, they come from St. Elizabeth, and so we are committed to supporting Jamaican farmers, and we've been told that Jamaicans grow the best tasting peanuts in the world, and our goal is to make the best peanut butter in the world. I worked with a natural peanut butter in the States. One of my goals was to come down here and to help facilitate small business development. And when we came down here and I saw that there was no Jamaican peanut butter on the market, and I saw that the current prices for import peanut butter, I realized that there was an opportunity in the market for a high quality, locally sourced peanut butter. Support Jamaica, buy Jamaican. We currently offer original, which is more of a creamy style, but the original has a slight texture to it. So we like to say it's kind of like a homemade style. Then we also do a chunky as well, which has whole peanuts in it. And we currently offer it at John R. Wong's, as well as it's going to be in Lethusian's, and it is the health food stores on Barbican and Orchid Plaza. If you purchase 2 jars directly from us, we can deliver right to your location.
Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, celebrating over 20 years of investment in community development. JSIF has forged relationships with international funding partners as well as private and public sector entities. Let us continue to invest to reduce vulnerabilities. Let us build our social capital and resilient infrastructures to ensure full participation in Vision 2030. JSIF, investing for community development.
Did you know that in a recent survey done by the OCA in schools across Jamaica, 43% of the students received inappropriate messages from strangers? The OCA wants you to be smart online. Never speak to persons you don't know. Parents, encourage your children to be social but be smart.
This message was brought to you by the Office of the Children's Advocate with support from UNICEF.
I didn't start it here in Jamaica. It was started before me. I think when I came here, it was two clubs. I would say two clubs in Kingston. So I started it here in Port Antonio. 10 years ago, it wasn't a team. It was one swimmer only for a couple of years, and then kids started joining more and more. Started joining, and here's a team.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I love synchronized swimming because of the pretty swimsuits. I wanted to show off myself to other countries.
The reason why I'm doing synchronized swimming is because when I was younger, there's not really a lot of sports that was there, and I also love water.
Synchronized swimming is a very unique sport. It's different from everything else, and I like to stand out.
It's a tough experience, it's challenging in many cases. I like the fact that we get to go out a lot, we get to get exposed to different things, different cultures and stuff.
We really don't select the girls, we take everybody who comes and we give them a chance, and then we'll see who stays. Synchronized swimming is not the sport that you can do twice a week for 1 hour. It's a very complicated sport that you have to do as speed swimming. You have to be very good at speed swimming. You have to be very good at gymnastics. You have to do a ballet class sometimes, and of course synchronized swimming actually on land and in the pool. Up there, don't turn, and then you walk out. So the girls practicing 4 times a week, sometimes 5, and depending on the school schedule, of course.
The level of dedication is about, saying 1 to 10, it is about 8. Because it's not a lot of sports there's around that I can do. So doing synchro, it takes a lot of time to think about the things that you're going to do. Have about a duet and a solo. When it comes on to shows, it has about 12 different routines.
It's very hard to balance school and training because most of the times training finishes late-ish at night. So I will have to get home and sometimes study. And so I go to bed late, and it's kind of hard to wake up in the mornings.
This leg is great. This one is about.
Synchronized swimming help you with development. It develops you physically and mentally too. I think the best advantage that they get being a swimmers is that they get in confidence. Knowing that you achieved something and you did something that many people cannot do. It gives you confidence and self-respect, and this is what the girls really need.
In the last few years, I've grown to the sports because when I was younger, I had my coach repeatedly saying, "Shall we work? Shall we work? Shall we work?" And I think before I reached about 16 or 15, I think I got better at that because knowing that I'm the oldest in the group, I have to show example.
Usually here I'm making our routines and trying to make sure it fits the personality of the swimmer first and the skill level.
I do a lot of mixing up of routines, especially when it comes to like duets and teams, sometimes solo.
It's all I want to do. It's my life. I would love to be in the 2020 Olympic Games, doing my best, competing, hopefully to get a medal.
Competing at the Olympics will make more Jamaicans know that synchronized swimming is actually in Jamaica.
It's always beautiful in Jamaica. Everything usually be green and pretty. We have beautiful water. Temperature that is normal temperature. The water never cold. We've been into business for about 13 years. JUSC-COOL. Just cool. It's spelled with 3 zeros. We make 3 different types of pudding. We make potato, we make cornmeal, and we make toto. This is the cornmeal, okay? That's actually almost the last process. What he's gonna do now, he's gonna put a gel on top. Within no time, he has to take it off because the gel give it a nice taste. We have people like Shelley and Fraser came here. We have, you could name the biggest artists, Shabba Ranks, name them all. Being the Man, they all come here and buy their pudding. This is what we grew up on. Now, when the people come to Jamaica, everybody, as soon as they land off the plane, this is where they come. They want to taste this pudding because it brings them back to the old days. Long time days when they was kids growing up and they used to sit on the fire and watch their mama, their grandmother bake the pudding. We try not to change off our roots, we try to keep it that way. And not only that, we have a lot of love because we're all about love.
It's one of Jamaica's heritage sites with its own stories to tell, but it's also known for the tasty treats it offers to locals and visitors alike. Watch and enjoy bigger Devon House ice cream at Devon House.
That's it right there, that's it. Yes, rum raisin, rum raisin.
Rum and raisin ice cream, one of the many Devon House ice cream flavors. The tasty treat is rated among the best in the world, and its ratings go up a notch when it's bought at the Hope Road spot. But there was one hiccup, the waiting time.
Definitely a good idea. It was congested, especially on a Sunday evening, but now we get through a lot more quickly, and it's less crowded, less congested. We got through in 3 minutes. On the other side, it took a longer time to be served. So it was definitely a good idea. I like it.
For some Jamaicans, a Sunday afternoon trip to Devon House for ice cream is the ultimate treat. If you haven't been treated lately, upon your next visit, you may probably scream in excitement. Not because you're about to indulge in your favorite flavor, but because the shop has been expanded, minimizing the time it will take to get the creamy delight into your hands. The bigger and newer parlor opened recently on the North Lawns, moving from its spot in the courtyard. The space, which now houses the 5,000 square feet facility, was created to address growing complaints about the wait time to purchase ice cream, especially on weekends and public holidays. The relocation project received $28 million from the Tourism Enhancement Fund.
The store that we were in before was a quarter of the size of the one that we are in now. We had long lines on a Saturday night and a Sunday night. So in order to make our customers be satisfied and comfortable, this shop was built, which is like 3 times the size of the old shop. When the shop was just opened, we were all excited, and we still are excited about this new shop. It has brought a different dimension to our whole business. We are able to accommodate more people. We used to have 4 dipping cabinets in the other shop. Now we have 7. So we can accommodate and serve people in a more efficient and faster manner. On a Sunday, which is our busiest day, I think that we have in excess of 1,200 people on a Sunday alone. And on a Saturday, which is the next busiest day, we probably have about 1,000 people. It was not easy in the beginning, but we eventually got the hang of it, and I think people are really satisfied with where we're at now. 3 times the amount of staff in this new shop. We have a nice big veranda.
On any given day, particularly on the weekend, there are groups of tourists traveling from the north and west coasts for the treat.
We're headed back to Montego Bay.
The dessert's popularity is no secret. Its name has gone abroad, written and told about over and over again. Each scoop helps to bring in well-needed foreign exchange.
This is delicious ice cream. This is a rum, raisin, and then coconut on top. It's a very rich and creamy ice cream. It's quite good.
Chocolate is my favourite. Never heard of Devon Stout before. This is my second time to Jamaica, so I thought, why not? Flavours, sugar, and there's a malty taste, which I'm assuming is from the Devon Stout.
I'm having cheesecake. Tastes very nice.
We make in all probably 30 flavors, but we don't have all 30 at one time. Depending on the season, we have maybe 20 to 25 flavors.
The expansion of the iconic ice cream parlor is part of efforts to boast the Devon House as the epicenter of gastronomy in Kingston and to enable the historic location to be financially sustainable.
It's always a nice treat. The setting is nice, the ice cream is superb. Here with family, my mother and friends, we're all here enjoying the afternoon. It's great because you have more space, because the other one, there was a queue that used to zigzag outside. At least if it rains here, we're inside, and it has a nice colonial feel.
Frustration has melted away as long waiting time no longer separates man or woman from getting their Devon House ice cream that brings out the smile not only in a child but adults too.
$650 students, $100 million. How are they connected? Through the Hospitality and Tourism Management Program offered at 32 high schools across the island. It's a 2-year program to equip future tourism workers with the requisite skills to meet the demands of the growing global industry. Graduates will be certified by the American Hotel and Lodging Educational Institute and received an associate degree from a local college. We're building a resilient tourism industry through human capital development.
So, for the closing of this year's Heritage Month, we're bringing you an interesting fact about this day. On October 31, 1671, Jamaica's first post office was opened in St. Jago de la Vega, the then capital of the country, and an area now called Spanish Town. The post office was opened by the island's first postmaster, Mr. Gabriel Martin, and the country became the first British colony to have an established post office, which functioned as a branch of the British Post Office. Remember to share these and other facts that you may know about our rich and diverse cultural heritage as we all work to make Jamaica the place of choice, well, for everything.
Hear this. Youth, older people, mature people, anyone who is listening right now, don't wait for extraordinary moments. Seize small opportunities and make them great. I've learned that through this experience. So if you have an idea, there's something that you want to do and you have not sought out an avenue, trust me, the time is now. Get it done.
And the traffic lights till somebody get hurt and the tears start cry. Save a life for the kids, for you and I. Save kids' lives. Make the road safe whether day or night, for pedestrians, passengers, cars and bikes. Save a life for the kids, for you and I. Save kids' lives.
Hey,
It's our job to keep the road them safe. Have to take care of the youth them so we know them safe. And obey the road code. Don't race, no bother with the speeding case. Make face and check your light them and your tires and brakes. Riders and the pillions who left the helmet. Put on the cell phone, no send no text. No matter what color they on your plate.
When you're on the road, take your time. When you're on the road, bear this in mind. When you're on the road, you can save a life. When you're on the road, when you're on the road, I beg you please be safe. Wear your seatbelt for keep you safe, and make sure your helmet's in place when you're on the road.
Hey, follow me. Well, everybody drive good and walk good. Then teach the youth them how to cross good. I beg you obey the road signs, park good. And put the young ones in a car seats, all good. And everybody drive good and walk good. And we say young and old, I beg you cast good. Remember the dark clothes at night, that is hard good. From you I use up the sidewalk, it's all good.
When you're on the road, take your time. When you're on the road, bear this in mind. When you're on the road, you can save a life. When you're on the road, when you're on the road, I beg you please be safe. Wear your seatbelt to keep you safe, and make sure your helmet's in place. When you're on the road, when you're on the road, when you're on the road.
As always, we want to thank you for staying with us on Jamaica Magazine. If you missed anything from today's show, you can watch it all again on our website or our YouTube page. And don't forget to keep up with us via our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.